organizations and many people have been friends for many decades because of those relationships. But without technology, how are you putting this together? Because until you, I always say Keith or Max and everyone else, right? When you meet people or at, let's say the EXP con, we see each other, it's top of mind, let's talk about business. But business keeps going, business keeps flowing, and technology is what you need. But Matt, if you don't mind sharing, some of the global technology, because I know everyone's starting to hear portals, international MLS. I mean, what does that all mean? But Matt, can you share with your background at the time, right, with one of the largest markets and what you're creating now with e-media?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks everybody for your time. It's Matt Bonds. I'm based here in Seattle. Been a real estate broker agent for 25 years. The last 10 years, and specifically 2016 through 2020, I ran the U.S. operation for China's largest real estate brokerage called Linjia Beike. In mainland China, they have 9,000 offices, 200,000 agents. So I've been kind of their point person here in North America. And because of that, I've really understood global real estate. We go back to China every few months and sell new homes and, introduce commercial opportunities and really understood how that process works. And through this evolution, I have a lot of relationships around the world. And so we've evolved it to a real estate kind of global marketplace. So we started a company called eMedia Links, which allows people to market and promote and sell behind firewalls and internationally. We partnered with real estate portals. So a portal will be like, we have a partner in Singapore called Oh My Home. They're a NASDAQ traded prop tech company. So they have their own brand and viewers, et cetera. So we have exclusive partnerships with portals around the world where we'll show up on their platform and offer our inventory. So if you want to we've got leads from Singapore, from China, from Costa Rica. So we're building out a new platform, really leveraging AI. So our new tech stack is independent of ChatGPT and OpenAI. It's going to be able to index all the properties, all the agents. And so that's very important going forward because Gary Vee would say SEO is the yellow pages. So you got to be found on ChatGPT and Grok and all those things. So our new tech stack is going to integrate and index every property, every agent. So what'll happen is, Jim and I went to Dubai last year for a property show, and I was talking to a lot of developers and saying, how are people finding you? And they're saying, oh, people are going to ChatGPT. They're no longer, it's kind of the new version of Google. And so the indexing and how to get indexed, is going to be really, really important. And so we were going to offer that for free for agents. You want global exposure, you want to be indexed, you want to do some lead generation. We have that. We have marketing tools. Our platform in China gets about 10,000 views a day now, so you can be seen there. We have partnerships. We eMedia Link Shanghai, which we opened, and that has opened up all of China as far as more opportunities. We'll have social media accounts there as well. We're exclusive partners with the Twitter of China called Weibo, and we get about 1 million views a month on that right now. So we continue to evolve and leverage that to get more eyeballs, but using AI to index and be found. That is so important. And I think we're all trying to figure out how to do that. And with our new tech stack, again, it's real important that we're sovereign and independent of the OpenAI platform. So if anything happens there, we're protected. So I understand how that works now. If you don't do it that way and OpenAI changes their policy, something happens to them, all these AI companies are going to be in big trouble. So we're kind of immune to that. So for you guys, again, if you want to have global exposure, be indexed, do some specific market targeting of markets. I'll put my stuff in the chat, and we can do that for you. And starting at free. I mean, there's some paid things you can do if you would want to reach 1 million people in China or in Singapore. We can do that as well. But at the very least, we'll create a profile and get you going for free. Our new platform will be up in about 30 to 40 days. Going to a portal conference next month in Bangkok. I think Jim will be joining us as well. And that's where all the kind of prop tech portals of Asia will meet once a year. So real excited about that. And then Cesar, I've been working with him. He's been fantastic. So we're going to really promote Latin America, all of his stuff on our platform going forward as well. So wherever you are around the world, reach out to me and we'll promote you for free, index you for free. And if you want to do some micro targeting, stuff, branding and lead gen, we can do that for you as well. So.
And Matt, thank you. Because technology and SEO, that was the old internet search optimization. Now it's with chat. And I would say everyone pretty much, I'm sure, has chat GPT. You should chat GPT yourself, right? Put yourself in and just put your name without saying your company and see if it pops to the top, right? Because when you start seeing it, I know gives you your whole resume. It goes on LinkedIn, goes to social media, and it's only getting better. And then you definitely need to start linking together all your social media, your content, your YouTube, everything else. And we are going to teach and share people how you can do better, but how do you plug in to different technology companies and for free, Matt, thank you. It's just being lazy if you don't do it, right? To get a global exposure for now. And I know after the change of the technology, it's going to be a cost. But right now, if you can get in and market yourself, and it only says takes one lead. And I know, Matt, how many leads do you pretty much get a day?
Well, views we're getting, 10,000 a day, and leads are really, and again, this is going to change with the indexing. That's going to completely change the whole dynamic because people will be found not just behind the firewall. But we get inquiries every day. We get traffic. We have so much traffic. We have over 1 million. Now we have the world's inventory. So if you really want to target, there's two ways to look at it. If you want to use it and market it to get new business, it's not really about leads. It's just showing the exposure, right? If you're going on a listing presentation. Great quick story example. I had a guy in Seattle. He goes, "Hey, Matt, I want to put my stuff on your platform. How much is it?" I go, "It's $200. Here's my credit card." Go, "Great." And he says, "I know it's not going to sell that way, but I just want to have that exposure to have a chance." It's a seller telling me this. And then he says, "Are you an agent?" I go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." "Oh, if I can have this for free, I'll list my $2 million house with you." It has nothing to do with someone from China buying it, right? So that's just leverage it for that, just to the exposure alone, just for your presentation, to differentiator. Now if you're going on to a seller, residential, commercial, and saying, "Oh, your listing will also be indexed globally," they're going to probably never know what that means, but you'll be ahead of the curve and be able to, handle that objection as well and solve that problem. So, yeah, it's again, very least use it for marketing, just to get new business. I mean, just on your
Well,
presentations.
and very exciting. And well, I would say in Mexico, Central Latin America, I'm flying. Hopefully, if everything's good, I'm sure it's good. I'll be in Central America because of so much opportunities. Granted, we see some turmoil and things happening in Mexico. But Cesar, do you want to share? Because I'm excited to go to Venezuela. Right? People are telling me beachfront property for $100,000 or less. I like beachfront property out there, and it is and will be hopefully the world's richest country again because of the oil that they have there. But if you don't mind sharing what you're seeing, Cesar, because this is an exciting time.
It is amazing what's happening. Talking about AI, I was asking AI a few days ago how to become a multimillionaire, and the response was that it's much easier these days than before. Why is that? Because we have the knowledge, we have the connections, we have the tools, but the only thing we don't have, and that's what we have to be there, is the presence. When we have a presence, is we're the connectors, we're the point of contact. Latin America is going to be transformed for many reasons, political reasons, economical reasons, but the US doesn't want anybody else in Latin America. The US wants to keep it in control. And so there's a ton of investments going to Latin America that is funneling to the US. The transactions are back and forth all the time. And very interesting stuff happening, like Venezuela. Venezuela, I think, is going to wake up a giant, which it has been always a great country, had some bad years, but it's coming back. Dominican Republic, they have a tax that is 15 years free tax. So you go and invest, you buy your condo, you put it on an Airbnb, and then go on Punta Cana whenever you want. 15 years tax free. And if you decide to sell it in year 10, no tax, no property tax. So there's a lot of incentives. Peru has this Chinese investment, and it's a complete AI marine port. It's just amazing how they send the ships and they unload the ships, and they have industrial places and parks. So there's a lot of opportunity. One of the most frequent questions I get is how to start. I've never been international. I don't speak different languages. How do I start? Well, it starts with preference, because you may have a taste for Italian food, or you may speak a different language, or you may have relatives in a different country. So it starts with some affinity. And don't go to the world. I mean, don't try to get to 100 countries. Pick one or two and start making connections. Renaissance is providing a great network to start meeting folks across the pond, and that's how we do it. But once we start connecting, you'll see how easy it is, because everybody will start asking you questions. Say, what's the cap in your area? Or, what about multifamily? And start synergy. But pretty much, US is a magnet for investments. It's undeniable. But if they don't know you, they're gonna go to XYZ on the internet and ask the questions, and who knows what's gonna happen. So when you start connecting, and there's too many groups to start connecting, but you start getting familiarized. My example is you don't know anybody in the new town that you just moved, and you go to the Rotary Club or any club or business club, and then you start meeting people, right? So you start creating relationships. Well, that's exactly the same. In my field, Latin America, it's going to offer too much opportunity for American investors and back and forth. At the same time, when we have projects that we want to promote, Latin America investors, they have this affinity with the dollar, and they have this love for the US, and they feel it's the safest place on earth. So it's not uncommon to have investors, qualified investors from Peru, from Mexico, from different places. And yeah, there's good people and bad people everywhere. But one of the most frequent questions is it clean money? Well, we don't have to deal with that. Everything goes through wire transfers and banking regulations. So you're not going to get a paper bag with too many bills in it. So it comes from the bank, from the banking institution. They already did the process. So don't be afraid of wiring money and etc. because everything is legit, but too much opportunities, too many.
Cesar, and that's a great point that you brought up. One, with Renaissance, we made it open mostly on commercial real estate. There was so many commercial leaders, presidents around the world. We all want to do business, and it's not just brokerage, but leasing and business brokerage, but now supply chain, finding land, entitling land, developing land, moving money, but the businesses too that occupy it. Two, a lot of things that we're doing now is finding where we want to live, create a funnel for remote work, remote living. Many people know if you're not making at least 10,000 a month, a lot of times you can't live in America or can't retire. So people are looking around the world, and we hope within Top Agent Nation to share. If you join with the VIP at the backstage, you get to learn more of what we're doing at Renaissance. But Renaissance, what we are doing is really a hub where we have CCIM, SIOR, CRE, FIOPSI, RICS. I mean, many of the people here have been in part of those organizations and groups and companies, and we keep hearing what else is there. So a one-stop shop allows you to plug in and see everything around the world. And there's so much that you need to find what room do you want to be in, whether it's a product specialty room, whether it's a capital market, supply chain, running businesses, roll up. There's going to be a lot that it takes everyone together to contribute. But the world is so big, and the only way we can do it is through technology. Matt, I hopefully you didn't step away, but can you share a little about the strategic partnerships? Because I know I was just talking to Cesar, one of our board members or advisory board is from Javier Ortiz, that owns a lot of Latin technology company. Simon Baker with this portal conference in Madrid and in Thailand. I mean, he kills it. He is the man when it comes to global portals. And then like Oh My Home. So can you share with people, how are we webbing all of this together? Definitely you shared the part about AI, how you can find things now, but share a little about the technology and the partnership. I will give you access to kind of share your screen so you can share a little to everyone.
Okay, let me get that prompt here. But while I'm doing that, yeah, some of our partnerships are again with some of these people like Simon Baker. He's kind of the top of the food chain for prop tech in the world. So he's kind of been a mentor, and he hosts these conferences a couple times a year. So he's gonna kind of oversees he's a good outlet to kind of get into a North Star to what to do. Oh My Home is a Nasdaq traded prop tech company in Singapore. We're their exclusive partner, where we are on their platform. We have again. Let me try to open this up here. 1 second.
And this is why we're bridging together. I would say, I see some EXP stuff, EXP countries, but non-EXP. So Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, right? Because they do need the tech. I was just talking, Cesar, to people in South America. This is why I'm going to Central America. They don't have the tech to web it together, but this group of friendships, we can actually create through portals and relationship our own MLS, our own systems. And a lot of it is why they don't clear, depending on government regulations, is because you can't track what they're doing on deals. with technology, you can track the deals, the off-market deals, what they're putting together. And if they're a bad actor, you just kick them off. Very easy. You just kick them off. But at least it's a step one that most countries do not have. An organized real estate system that you can interlock within the country, interlock within regions. And as Matt and many of us are interlocking the world together, just with leaders and people who've been in the portal industry forever. But Matt, please share some more.
Yeah, so here's a site. This is a site we're going to redo, but I'll give you an idea what it looks like now. So this is called House.Sina, and Sina is one of the biggest media companies in China, older ones. They do films, they do kind of like a Yahoo or MSN. So they point their House.Sina to our platform. This is actually opens behind the firewall in China. This particular site, which again I'll show you, will be redone. Right now it gets about 10,000 views a day just in mainland China, and that'll grow significantly. We have properties all over the world, different by country. Again, this will be redesigned as in the throes of doing that now. But it could be, for example, if someone's looking for a property, it's set up in Seattle, sorry, this loads here. So in Seattle, we'll have listings, we have, a private seller, which is interesting there as well. We did a marketing campaign to sellers, and 51 private sellers of residential across the US reached out to be on the platform. And those are folks that didn't want to list with an agent right away, because eMedia Links is not a real estate company, it's a marketing company. So that was interesting. They didn't want any market time, they didn't want to sign the yard, but they wanted to try global distribution, local distribution. So those have actually leads we can actually allocate to you guys later too, either buyer leads or seller leads. But every country will have listings, new construction. One of our partners is a gal who's really kind of from a training perspective, one of the gatekeepers to the biggest home builders in the United States. Actually got to fly down to see her in Arizona tomorrow. And so we're going to get all the biggest home builders on this platform, the new platform as well. But this is sort of like a Seattle page, and how a portal would work, for example. So here's one of our portal partners in Singapore. They're called Oh My Home. They're a NASDAQ traded company, prop tech company. I know, Jim, I know you met them in Singapore, I think last year. And so there's their resources. You're looking for property. So you're just going through here. There's a couple entry points. So let's say you're going, oh, America. Okay, so again, we've had leads this way from people from Singapore. So their audience would click on America. And again, this is also good for marketing. So they kind of see the page, but this is On My Home within our platform. And so if I go to here and follow the trail to Seattle again, by clicking on the Seattle link, then again, there you go, right? So all of a sudden these agents and all the same listings show up in Singapore. And so how the new tech is going to be different than this though, as we're building it, this tech stack here, we're building with our partner. So it's going to be, everything will be tagged and indexed, as I mentioned before. SEO is the yellow pages, so you don't want to do that. You want to be indexed. So the new platform, you can able to do a voice search, a photo search, what's called a long tail search. So let's say I'm looking for a view property in Tulum, next to by the airport, blah 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 blah, and it'll pop up on this site. But because it's indexed, someone on their own ChatGPT could be doing the same thing, and it's also going to show up. So that's why that's real important. So every listing will have this type of kind of interface. We're partnered with a company called PropTech. Well, PropTech does virtual staging, but they have a retail play. They work with the biggest portals in the world. I think they have 40 million photo views a month or a day or something crazy like that. But every one of our listings will have the virtual staging where the consumer can kind of gamify it, so the consumer can go on to a property or into a listing and stage it themselves, which gives you a lot more time on a particular listing. But they've added a retail component to this, so they've done exclusive partnerships with IKEA, Wayfair, Samsung. So now the consumer can put IKEA furniture on their listing on the photo, or put a Samsung, television, etc. So they have several retail brands that they partnered with. So each of our listings will have that as well, and these will be your listings. So if you have a listing, whether it be a residential or commercial on our platform, because each agent will get their own kind of web page. All of your listings will have the same interface, right? So you can go to a seller and say, look, everyone is virtually staged. You got the voice search. We have another partnership with a company called Fortify, which is more of a fintech AI platform, which allows consumer, because we partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and Plaid, where a consumer then can get a soft credit pull on any property. They click the link and basically qualify themselves, and see what they really can qualify for. So this technology, I think, will start replacing mortgage calculators that are on websites technically today. That's kind of garbage in, garbage out. What you put in, okay, great, if you say so, right? But this actually gives you the answer because it's going into your banking and it's pulling your credit. And this will, of course, be a lead for a lender or for an agent. So this will also be on every listing as well. So some of our social media things we have, again, because we're in China, the House Sina, which I mentioned, gets 10,000 views a day. Weibo is the Twitter of China, which is their exclusive partner. We have WeChat accounts, Little Red Book, Douyin. And to be able to have access to these accounts, you have to have a company in China. And we do have a company in China. So Douyin is like the Chinese version of TikTok. Little Red Book is sort of the latest, greatest, most popular platform. WeChat's more of a, probably heard that before if you know anything, heard anything about Mandarin stuff, but that's more of a communication kind of platform. And Weibo, for example, is like the Twitter of China. So here's Weibo. This is their official account for the real estate outside of China. Has 1.2 million followers. We post on here every day, and it's good for lead generation. Again, it's good for branding. Back to that seller that said, hey, I'll pay to be on this platform. I want to be on Weibo. Again, I got the listing for $2 million and it didn't sell from anyone from Weibo. But again, I leveraged this to get more business. But here's examples we post every day. Here's one in the Philippines. Here's one in Singapore. This got 13,000 views. This, 5,000 views. This one had 20,000 views. So you start showing sellers that your listing is getting, Australia, 18,000 views, getting 10, 20, 30,000 views. That's very impressive. And again, we'll have additional social media accounts as well. So, and again, with the indexing part, and so it's really going to be a great system to lead generate, brand yourself globally. And again, we're also tapping into our partnerships with immigration partnerships around the world, called Ames Immigration out of Singapore. They're looking for opportunities in America. They want to do EB5, EB3. So as our partner, we talk to them every week. And so there'll be opportunities there we'll be able to share with you guys. And global properties, a great example, back to the portal, we promote global properties. So if you want to promote properties in the Philippines, you can do that. And if you get a buyer, they'll close them for you and pay you a commission. Or you can promote properties in the Philippines and lead generate. You may say, I have all these properties in the Philippines or Dubai, same thing, they'll pay you the commission. Your person may not buy in Dubai or the Philippines. They might buy in Los Angeles. So it's another great way to lead generate because we have this database of partners that allow us to market their properties worldwide. So a lot of stuff here, but it's real exciting, especially starting Q2. Our new platform will be up and going with the AI stuff. But but be global. It doesn't matter what country. Cesar is totally right. I mean, it's you don't want to just do your own market anymore. You want to be global and be open because everyone's doing a lot of cross-border stuff. And the cool thing about this is, what if you get a buyer that said, yeah, I'm looking to buy in Dubai, let's say. Well, before I go, wow, congratulations, how exciting. That's about it. Now with us, you can actually connect them to property in Dubai and actually maybe get paid, or wherever in the world. It could be Mexico, it could be anywhere. So this platform ecosystem will be global, online, offline, and just, reach out to us and, it's free to start. So, and you'll have the best technology out there, literally, and no cost. So.
And Cesar, the interesting thing with Matt, we were marketing with GuataPay in, just right down at Medellin, and it's luxury, right? But who are the largest people that invest in Miami? Where do they come from, right? So Cesar, where do they come with all these investors? So if you get them in their country and you are the experts to bring them to America, how much? I think the primary language of Miami is Spanish. So, if you don't speak Spanish, forget it. And you want to tell Cesar, it's not always going outside of the country, but coming inside. If you want to share a little, then we'll open it a little up for some questions before some other guests start coming in to speak. I know the half of the hour.
Definitely, Jim. And something that I've seen in America quite often is Americans, we tend to feel like we're in the house and we don't see outside the house often. Now, for those who they take a peek outside the window, they're capturing a great opportunity because there's always trade missions in my case in Latin America all the time. And what happens, very savvy people, they have, because they're from Mexico or Colombia, Argentina, etc., they go and feature this catalog of properties and opportunities, which is not theirs. They're just taking everybody's listings and they capture the client in their field and they come back to you and say, I have a buyer. And you as a listing broker, you're just selling the property, but you're not part of the game. And there's a lot of action. Something that someone from England asked me this morning is, should I divide it? They want to create a group, a chat group for commercial practices, and they asked me if they should divide it by regions, continents, languages, and definitely yes, definitely yes. My answer was yes, because what happens is you create synergy. It is very, very difficult when you get, you're the listing broker for one asset and you get an international buyer, is going to be very complicated, culturally speaking. Some individuals, they don't buy until they negotiate and bargain 3 times or 6 times. Some cultures, once you settle the price, they come back and negotiate. I had experiences when they are negotiating at the closing table at the title company. And for some of us, this is offensive, this is rude, and it's not practical. But that's the way some cultures work. So what happens when we understand some cultures, in my personal case, when I have an individual from this country or that country, I rather get someone from that country to help me because I'm going to lose my patience. But I want to close the deal. So what happens, you start learning which places you feel capable and patient, and some other countries you just don't want to deal with them, but don't lose the deal. So it creates, is culturally speaking, there's a lot of differences, but yeah, definitely yes. And it's not only assets, it's not only listings, creating joint ventures, construction, new development. It's too much what you can offer once you get involved.
Thank you, Cesar. And this is the thing, and I always love Doug. Doug is Mr. Global. Very honored to be part of the Global Chamber. And I'll just tell you this: for agents, Global Chamber is the best, and that's the best hidden secret. There is very few agents, but in time, there's going to be a lot. Mostly because everyone wants the referral and what Global Chamber is. But it's an honor, Doug, having you here and running the real estate part. Because as you know, I always say, Doug, what do you think? It touches everything. But Doug, if you don't mind sharing you and also Global Chamber and really how big Global Chamber is.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, with 605 chapters in 195 countries, the extent of Global Chamber is large. And one of the things that we definitely believe in is that the world is full of silos. There's the real estate silo. There's silos in every country and every city and everything is siloed. And Global Chamber really is the only organization that I'm aware of that knocks all of that down. Now, we're not so interested necessarily in stuff that's not interesting from a business perspective. But when business is happening and companies are growing across borders, that becomes interesting to Global Chamber and our members. And so what we love to be able to do is provide our community with deals, with opportunities so that they can move them forward. And that requires a platform, which we're building and getting help from Jim. Thank you so much for that. But we're all aligned around making sure that we're groups of people that are doers and finding opportunities. There's certainly plenty of places to do that in the real estate world. On our side of it, it's with the business leaders, it's with the economic development community, and with commercial real estate leaders who know what's going on. So encourage all of you. Already, as Jim mentioned, we don't have very many real estate folks in Global Chamber, only the early adopters. And as we build the platform and we continue to build out within Jim's world, we're going to continue to grow and support the community. Thank you, Jim, for being such a visionary.
Thank you, Doug. And if you could share information, but can you tease everyone with the Lee and Associate guy? That is what everyone wants. But you got to show up. You got to be present. You got to get to know people so you get these leads. But Doug, can you share that? Because I think everyone's looking for deal flow. That's a nice one to that Lee and Associate guy.
When you say lead associate guy,
Lee and Associate in Arizona with TSMC.
Oh, Lee and Associate.
Yes.
I thought you said lead, L-E-A-D.
Oh, no.
So Mark Pierce, you're talking about. So
Yes,
Mark with Lee and Associates has been a member of a Global Chamber for as long as we've been around, probably at least 10 years. Mark I love Mark. He's so serious and professional and knowledgeable. And I've watched him over the years go above and beyond the call of duty for his clients by collecting the right data and working really hard. And so he had advised me of some things that he was working on. And we've been introducing him to a variety of international clients, including from Argentina and from Asia. And he came to me a while back saying that he had come across through Global Chamber an opportunity, and it subsequently, I didn't catch it from that moment to what actually happened a few weeks ago before he made the announcement last week at the Semiconductor Summit. The announcement is 4 Taiwanese companies coming together on one property related to semiconductor industry, $54 million. He's going to be speaking at Global Chamber next Wednesday at our weekly global real estate call. How that all came together and how he was able to do a deal with a group, 4 different groups from outside his country. He's based in the U.S. and he was working with these folks from Taiwan. The cross-cultural aspect, the multi-company aspect, that's complicated, right? Companies have different cultures, different contracts, different requirements. And so his ability to work through that is all going to be documented through this webinar next week. So I encourage you to jump in. But those are the kinds of fun things. That's an unusually big one. That's not an insignificant one. That's a great example, and maybe one of the best examples of what Global Chamber can bring. Thank you, Jim, for recognizing that.
Oh no, Doug, and I got to listen in here and toot the horn because I know more is coming. Because in Global Chamber is all economic development groups. It's all supply chain, import, exports, and what's going on the tariff, especially in America, onshoring, nearshoring, or just bringing it. I know Daniel Chang, that was one of our speakers that you'll see. He has like 8 figures. I think he's flying to Shanghai to put a deal together. He brought 200 China businesses to the Carolinas. People have to just plug in, show up, learn, and get to know people. No excuse if you want to do international business, getting to know people virtually. And then you try to fly out because everyone's time and cost to travel to those events. But many of us have been traveling and doing this business for decades. So we can pick up the phone and talk to people, but you got to get to know people. They're not going to pass you, right, Doug? $54 million deal, but they have the respect and trust of Global Chamber and others to vouch that you're the right individual to put these deals together.
Yeah, I think for any of you, you undoubtedly have some experience, at least in one country. And so as you come on board, you'll let Globy, which is our AI tool, know about where you have expertise and also where you have interest going forward. You reminded me about Daniel. So in April, Jim, it's actually now the date is set, April 27th. At the Bank of China in Los Angeles, Global Chamber is hosting an event on China and on business in China. It's primarily focused in on CIIE, the China International Import-Export Forum that happens every November. So we're going to be promoting that, but I'd love to circle back with you and Daniel, maybe get you guys involved in that, because China is a little bit of a third rail. It's challenging. It's got geopolitical challenges. It's also got unlimited opportunity. And so it's not for everybody, but for those people that are interested,
Doug,
it's very interesting.
I'll tell you something, Quinn. Yeah, I'll tell you something funny before I give Cesar, before he has to jump on an international, European call. But Doug, you know what's funny about California? I don't want to be too political, but if you're against one person, the other country will say, okay, so actually I'm doing import export with $1 billion manufacturer, not a manufacturer, but a modular company. And I already know the politics. If one side likes it, the other side hates it. If the other side hates it, the other side loves it. It's California. They're going to love dealing with China just because it pisses off somebody else. But you play the game. We're all business people, and you got to understand the nuances, and we're all just do business. But Cesar, before you take off for your call, please share a little about what you're doing internationally and this deal that you're putting together.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Go ahead, Cesar.
we started in Latin America, and Spain called, and now different countries are calling, and we're going to have to find a way to translate those presentations, Zooms, seminars, etc. Like right now, I'm jumping virtually to Spain. I'm doing a presentation over there because there's a lot of interest. And something that we have to keep in mind, a lady called me yesterday from Medellin, Colombia. She has a property that she wants to feature with Matt in eMedia, and she was asking me for advice. So I don't know that place, and I started asking questions. Well, that happens that is a destination for Americans who they want to retire, and it's a small hotel, perfect for folks who they just want to take it easy. Mexico has 1.6 million expats. Costa Rica. We're talking big numbers. And you can be the connector, and you can be the facilitator, and you can be present in not only on those transactions, but there's so much synergy going everywhere. When you're present, they're going to call you and ask you for all kinds of questions, and you help someone and you direct that person to someone. Global Chamber is going to be big impact in our community. So, but you're present. And once you're present, things are going to show up on your door. Latin America is my field, Spain. If there's anything that I can help you in those territories, but at the same time, I got a call from England. Right now, I'm going to Spain. Yesterday was Colombia. And this is global, and it's so easy to reach. I'm very grateful to be here with you. I'm going to jump to Spain right now.
Thank you so much of this global way. And Scott, with I know with Top Agent Nation, but if you could share Renaissance, we are, because of everyone's been friends with everyone in tech, real estate development. We're just helping each other. But I wanted maybe some questions for Matt. I'm sure everyone is looking to figure out how to go global, how to expand. And technology, besides showing up at the different, whether it's CCIM, SIOR, Global Chamber, ARIA, there's so many groups and organizations. It's daunting and it takes a lot of time and money, but tech is pretty easy. So maybe if there's any questions that everyone would like to ask, or how to get plugged in, or do you have any contacts around the world that you'd like to see if there's some partnerships we could put together, and hopefully you could be the main source and connector with this. Any questions for anyone? Matt, maybe you want to share a little more about what we're building, especially with Susan Highland, from a new home housing land development. And I know with other partners that we're bringing in, this is going to be even larger for mixed use housing type of projects. It could be condo, it could be multifamily, but maybe you share a little with another advisor how this is going to be big, and especially from land development, mixed use with the housing component. And you can see there's a lot of, from 3D printing, which will have them speak 3D, stick built, or modular, what works best and where does it work? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
with Susan, she was a national trainer for about top 20 home builders in the United States for 40 years, her academy. And so she's one of our advisors for eMedia Links, again, to get out as many home builders as we can on our platform to promote and then sell. And again, there's opportunities for you guys to engage with that, to get leads, essentially, right? To get these buyer leads who want to buy these products. And Jimmy, I know with Arc City, right, there's a whole platform there with being able to, I mean, I'll let you explain that, but to be able to, locate land and best use and all that for home builders. So there's a really strategic partnerships in that regard. So, but with the home builders, again, there's going to be a lot of lead generation because we're going to have some of the biggest home builders in the United States on our platform, and leads we can, allocate to people, other agents who are on the platform. So that's why I'd say sign up get a profile, especially when our new platform's launched. And you can be in our kind of lead distribution, or we sell leads again as well. But we're also going to have good content that we will be emailing our agents, a few times a month, whether it be how to buy property in Dubai, or a new event, or a trade mission we're doing. So we'll have a lot of good resource and content as well. And again, try to connect you with some of our partnerships, whether it be an immigration company or a home builder or a platform to find land. Again, and this is not just the United States. It could be anywhere in the world too. We have home builders in Dubai. Again, Jim, we went to Dubai last year. Every home builder there wanted to be on our platform, literally. And so there'll be more of that as well.
And it's exciting because technology is in play right now, as everyone knows. There's a lot of positions that I'm on in tech. Some of them are going through exits, Series A or exit, being a bought out or going public. And I'm putting them together before, once you hit big on NASDAQ or somewhere big. Trust me, founders don't talk to you anymore, right? They cashed out with tens of millions, if not a billion, no, $100 million. We know some of those people. And right now we're plugging it in while before you get big, you get integrated, you plug in, you figure it out, you maybe even invest and figure what parts, but at least you get recognized and you get leads and deals. But there are, as I know where I sit, puzzle pieces of how people, organizations, technology works together. You just have to plug in, show up. I know, Vincent, thanks for showing up at CCC and others, but all these events, we all work together. Everyone's been friends with each other for decades. That's why there's trust. But now many people are into technology, AI, data, locking down data. So you're going to see another evolutional change of what's going to happen. And as everyone says, it's sooner than later. It's going to happen. So plugging yourself in, learning about global, you're doing an arbitrage. US is going to be hard. Other countries are not adopting to AI, tech, social media, all this good stuff. Learn to stay ahead of the game. And the reason I can tell this is because of my conversations outside the US with multiple firms, government agencies, other things, just to understand. What we're doing here is to share, and we will make it easy because I know how the way agents are, putting it in a cliff note so you can find the links and what you want to learn. But I would just say, for those that showed up, great, plug into these technologies we're going to show. So it gets you that start and then learn AI. And please, for everyone here, social media, we will have a way to teach people how to up your social media, whether it's on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, especially for commercial, to get you out there, how to build content, how to build your own podcast. And Matt, I know we're going to use e-media to distribute in addition to many other tech companies. So, I mean, it's an exciting time for those that want to work, those that want to plug in, those that want to be bionic. But if you're not, you better look for another job or get universal income because it is crazy in the US, as we all know, and stack enough money or assets so you can live abroad. Then you could live $3,000 to $5,000 in another country. So I will share more and more because of just these immense amount of conversations I'm having on a daily basis, which I hope everyone's having 6 to 10 calls a day to really learn and see and network and connect and do some deals. And we hope within Renaissance, and especially Top Agent Nation, is to make this easier for everyone to build a pipeline, or everyone knows, a funnel while you're doing your day job of transaction of whatever sort or service, that you will get enough leads and deal flow to pass it to other people to make some money. Go ahead, Matt.
No, Jim, I was going to say too, through your leadership through Renaissance, you're making it easy to be global because it's hard to, because the thing I've learned, it's hard. Like, how do I become global? What do I do? Who do I call? What website do I go to? Right. And I found that if all things being equal, we're all the same, we're all have the same skills and we're all the same, but Keith is global and we're not, everyone's going to think, oh, I'm going to work with Keith because he knows he's all over the world and you guys are great, but you're not everywhere. So perception and reality really there. And Jim, through all this stuff he's doing, he makes it super easy and it starts at free. So, it's and you again use a global exposure to get more local business. But again, since I've been doing this, I've met so many people from other want to buy in other countries now that now we can connect them with. So be mindful of that too. And but Jim, you said earlier too, if any of you guys on the call have any relationships around the world, we're looking to expand Vietnam and Europe, reach out to me and you can be the lead with that. Whether it be a real estate company, a developer, a portal, anything in the real estate space, commercial, let me know because we're growing in multiple countries that can plug you in as a lead. So,
and I want to just open it up because it is an exciting time. It is a scary time. The good thing is with these conversations with AI, people are getting AI fatigued because all these fake things people are creating, you don't know if it's real. They actually want to see authentic things now. You messing up, not being perfect. People like to see that. And those that have gray hair, old, dyed hair, no hair, old people, right? Older people, you need to plug in. You need to plug in because what the older group has credibility, track record, I always say partnering with young people together, they have the energy, they understand tech. While you partner together, they're leveraging your credibility, your knowledge and connections to parlay it. So that's why I said partnering with the younger, they have the energy, they grew up in social media, they grew up in tech. But the older people right now, we have this time and window to be very bionic because we can do all of those things we couldn't do before. And we are going to teach you, right? From the social media, from building content, from using AI to, as everyone knows, like drop shipping and everything else, a funnel. And that's why we created Renaissance with Top Agent Nation, with many other trade groups. It funnels it in so you can make passive income non-RESPA. For those in the US, most people outside the US, but is not all non-RESPA. So there is ways to make money, but also the credibility with institutional, very high-profile leaders in the country. Everyone knows everybody. So you can't hide. You can't get scammed as bad too easily because everyone will just pick up a phone and call somebody pretty high up in the country. So that's the great thing. It's a verifier for your clients if you go do business out of the country, but it also allows you to do business out of the country because the biggest fear is, I don't know anyone, I'm going to get scammed, I don't know about these people. And unfortunately, if it's government level stuff, can't help you there, right? If it's government level. But if it's just a institution company, we can most likely figure out, or we know the people, or we know where the pitfalls for you. So stay in touch. There's more to come, but reach out to Matt, reach out to Renaissance, reach out to Top Agent Nation. We're all working together to really grow as many verticals as possible, building funnels so you can build passive income while you're doing your day job. But we're really excited for everyone to be here to keep learning, and please reach out to us. We're happy to learn about you, set up meetings, and work together as a team. So everyone, have a great day. Please reach out. Please invite people to Top Agent Nation Commercial Wednesdays, and we hope to grow. And if you have any topic you would like us to cover, we can bring in experts and knowledge for all of you to get even better. So we don't know it all. You guys hear everything out there. Please let us know how we can make this better, how we can have a topic that you're interested in. Everyone, have a great day. Have a great week. Bye-bye.